everyone will be going live now, okay?
Oh, okay.
You.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the AI That Works Challenge. It is great to see you all here again. We are already on day 3, which means by the time you make it to the end of this session, you'll be over halfway, which feels too soon, feels too quick. It's all passing by. I hope everyone is feeling momentum and starting to feel like your AI skills are really leveling up. Like, I am hoping that by now you're starting to have conversations like with your neighbors or your kids where you're like, oh, let's use ChatGPT, because that's kind of the fun thing that starts to happen like the first week that you really get AI like working for you and starting to be, like really coming together. So it is exciting to have everyone here. Let me see, what do we need to do first? I think we have people coming in the room, but I would love to revisit yesterday's fun work assignment and let's pick a winner. Peter, do you think we should start with picking a winner today?
I always like winners. Winners are good. Well, everyone's great, but picking the winners was fantastic. Who is it? I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, it is. So first of all, so cool in the Facebook group. I have to say, like, you go through and who else looked through the list? Like, I was like, oh, I should learn German or something. But there were such creative and interesting things that people wanted to learn about it. And it reminds you like, oh, it's a big world and there's lots to learn. I love that part of this week. And yeah, so like using NLP or there was a cat communication one, which I thought was amazing. Like really pushing the envelope of like, okay, give me what a traditional answer would be, but then no, there's like a real cat telepathy practice. That's new to me. I didn't even know that. So super interesting. I loved it. And that apparently ChatGPT will design a way to build your knowledge in that. But I am picking, and like I said, the team always helps me select, but I am picking Melanie Clark. And I hope she's in the room. She's normally in the room by now, but Melanie had such a sweet one, which is that she said she'd always wanted to learn calligraphy. And I actually took a calligraphy class when I was like, I think I was probably I'm trying to remember, 9 years old or something. Like it was like an after school program and I did it for a month or two. But really, what a beautiful lost or sort of, I don't know, like dying art, I think, of people actually being able to do it by hand. And it's so, so beautiful. And I just love this idea of still remembering the things you wished you'd learned as a kid. So Melanie, how did you feel about what your like learning journey was that ChatGPT created?
It was really cool. Excuse me. And it was funny because I was thinking about doing something else once I saw how Peter showed how you could create a plan for yourself and then turn it into a course you could sell. And I'm working on something. I said, oh, I could use it to do my course or something else that I wanted to create to help people like prepare their kids for back to school. And he said, think of something that you wanted to do when you were younger. And my mom actually had like a box calligraphy kit. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And I opened it up and I looked at it and I was like the same age you were. I was like 8 or 9 years old. And so it looked really cool, but it wasn't really practical for somebody at that age. But I kept going, oh, when I get older, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I never did. But we always had to practice penmanship because I'm ancient. So we always had to write everything by hand. And so I got used to doing it. And I was like, I really like that. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to learn calligraphy. Finally, I'm going to learn it. So
Cool.
that was where that idea came from.
And nowadays, like back then you had to like, I mean, I think when I did it, like we actually had to use ink wells, like not like we had to dip.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays there's some pretty great calligraphy markers, like that, like, and I was like, that seems like it'd be a lot easier.
I actually have a set of those.
Oh, amazing. You're ready to go. Oh,
But
you're going to have to report in and see how you
but I wanted to learn the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I did like the topping and tailing, I kept like creating it and redoing it. And then I was like, okay, Gretchen said, you don't take the first answer. You keep asking, you keep asking. So I actually finally said, I want you to give me a detailed activity for every week. I was like, and I want you to start with telling me exactly what materials I need, how to use them, and how to take care of them. So it gave me everything from like the pen to the nib to the inkwell to use this type of paper. So it was just so long and detailed. I was like, I can't put this in the group chat. It'll be too long. But it was really fun. It
That's
was really
amazing. Fun. Did everyone hear that? How much you were like, no, this is what I want. And this is who I need to be. And this is like, I love it. I love it. You keep doing that. And the sky is the limit on what you're going to be able to create for your business, for your life, everything. Like Peter's over there high-fiving. I don't know if you can see him. Amazing, amazing work.
Thank you. And can I say something, Gretchen? That one piece of instruction that you gave yesterday about like teach it, like it will teach you how to ask for things in life by you consistently asking for more and more and getting more specific and slicing it thinner. That like one little piece of instruction, like I was like, that is pure gold. Like you really can use that in life in total and like just practice it with your AI. So there were a couple of things that I did where it was like, okay, memory updated. And I was like, oh, cool. It took an instruction I asked for and actually added it into the memory because I've been customizing it for a while. So I just wanted to thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I didn't make it clear, or I did yesterday, but we're going to send you one of those super cool Spark Hydrate bottles that Peter showed yesterday. Awesome. Like I said, I think it's like the best, coolest new tech, like a tech that sort of will like remind you when you're not drinking enough water. Actually, ironically, we talked about it yesterday. I got to the end of the day and I was literally like, if I only had 2 glasses of water all day, I am totally dehydrated today. So I like desperately needed it yesterday and like didn't even just say like, oh, I should just watch every time Peter drinks and then I'll drink too and somehow I'll stay hydrated. But you're going to have it. It is super cool. Yay. He had it when we were together in New York and like, yeah, every I don't know, half an hour, it would light up on the bottom and then he would drink. Anyway, I love this tech.
That's so cool. And what's funny is this is what I drink out of at home. And I'm constantly telling people to stay hydrated. I'm always going, drink your water, stay hydrated. Like I'm a fiend about it. So it's kind of funny that this is I won the prize. Thanks so much.
It. Well, congratulations. Awesome. I loved your share. Thank you for the way you've been showing up on Facebook. It's awesome to have you here. It's awesome to have you on this challenge. I think it's like your 3rd challenge, isn't it?
Third time.
I was gonna say, we've seen you like Mel. I don't think you and I have met like over Zoom one-on-one before yet, but I was like,
Mm.
I know Melanie's name. I've been seeing you in Facebook for 3 challenges now. So I love that you're here. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for like being here and
Awesome.
continuing to
Thank
show up
you.
and level up. I love it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Congratulations,
And I
Melanie.
put you guys in my song too. Thanks so much.
That's great. I love it. I think that Rayland actually shared the link with it, but it was right before the meeting and I haven't heard it yet. So I will listen later for sure.
You're
And
all
what I
in
would
it.
like, oh, so sweet. What I'd love to do next is because we have already told you guys that the topic today is leveling up using voice mode. And some of you who've tried it are in there being like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer on like the next thing you need to learn to up your journey. And if you are not using voice mode, we're about to blow your mind. It's so cool and so fun. But I think before I turn it over to Peter, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to start here with Jade. Jade, give me a recap. How was the after party? Tell us about Business Accelerator. What are you guys covering? What am I missing?
Well, missing, I would say, quite a bit. We have some good conversations in there. And even yesterday, when we were talking into the learn anything kind of subject, it really sparked a lot of good conversations about people, how they could utilize it personally, but also utilizing it for their business and being like, you know what, I don't know how to like run my own like Facebook ads. I would love to learn. And they like made their own course about that, or even talking into being like, you know what, like I think it also sparked a lot of ideas that people were like, why don't I sell a course on what I do? Like if I do digital marketing, why don't I sell a course on how you could do this side of digital marketing or how to get started with it? Or even people were like, what if I just sold random courses online for random things that I just saw needs for? And it created so many different like sparking ideas. And we talked into how you can do it, different ways you could like get AI to learn with you and ways to learn with it. And it was super interesting and I love it. And I literally love those sessions because I come out of it with being like, I should really write that down. There's a lot of great ideas happening in here.
I love it. So first of all, for everyone who's wondering what the after party is, it is the session. It's for our VIPs. It is an hour with Jade every day after the challenge. And in that time, she actually bridges the gap. Like she helps people talk about like, okay, here's what we learned, but let's like dial this in a little more tightly onto business. Because everything we're teaching you absolutely in this challenge is totally applicable to business. But sometimes like some people want a little bit of help, or like that's also what we do in our mastermind is this idea of like, okay, but how exactly am I using it? And when you said like people were like, hey, maybe I should have a course for what I do. Yeah, your business almost certainly should have a course, whether it's something you sell or something you use to bring people in so they get to know you, so they feel comfortable and confident that you are actually like the right expert and speak the right language right to them. And so that's just we talk about all the time in the mastermind and in our program. So when our business owners are often doing things like that. And so I love that those are already coming out in these like challenge after parties. So VIPs, you have your own link to get into those sessions. They happen right after each of our sessions in the challenge today. And it is amazing to have all of you guys being a part of that. So I love it, Jade. Peter, I would love to like take some shares. Do I have a minute to do that before we get started?
Of course you do. 100%.
I would love, raise your hand, anyone, and this is in my Zoom room because I'm sorry, Facebook, by the way. Hi, I haven't said hi to all of you. It's great to have you, but I'm looking for people here in my Zoom room. Go ahead and raise your hand. I would just love to know how this experience is going for you. And you can, I think I can see them. Jade, flag if I'm missing people, but go ahead and especially I'm looking for new people who are, yeah, because I know there are also people in this room who've like done a lot of work with us in the past, but I would love to hear some of your experiences. Some of my favorites in there are cheering. I would love to just hear how this is going for you already. Are things clicking? Tell me where, and I see Kelly, tell me how this is going for you. Tell me like how your AI experience has been so far this week.
Hi Gretchen, hi everybody. I think it's been so good to come back to it. Because I just got overwhelmed with how the complexity of like trying to understand stuff with all the advice that's out there. And this team just simplifies it down and, really taking home the teaching points that it's a conversation, it's an intelligence, be demanding and don't take the first answer. Like that was just a little bit mind-blowing. So when Peter said yesterday, you know, it's going to be agreeable, I was like, I never thought that before. That's like game changing on another level because it's using the words that I use. And sometimes I go, I don't like that, which is probably why I stepped away from it for so long. So yeah, like it is definitely 200x, if not more, from when we started on day one already. So come along to
Oh,
VIP
I
next
love
time you get the
that.
opportunity. Amazing.
And I love that, like you already had an AI journey and you were like, okay, I can see the potential here, but I don't know, like the output isn't what I want. And yeah, that's frustrating. Like, and that you actually stepped away. And I love that we're bridging you back in because I know that your original sense, the one that is like, this is really powerful and I need to learn it, that's
Yeah.
accurate. Everyone who's got that tingly in their brain, that's real. This is going to be the biggest change of our lifetime. And I'm not a tech person. We haven't really covered anything about me, but I am the least techie person that you know. And I somehow like help run an AI company. But it is because I think this technology is the most approachable. Like if I can become a wizard at using this AI, which I can, and I like hate setting up my phone, that tells you something. This is a different technology. This is something that's like, oh, I can work with you and we can have a relationship and a conversation and I can do that. So I love
See
that,
that.
like, I'm sorry that you had the frustrating part of your journey, but I'm so glad to see you back in it. I know that this is incredibly important for your business and the impact you want to have in the world. So I love that. Thank you so much for that share. Let me also hear Rihanna. So I'm sure I just said your name wrong. Tell me how to
Yeah,
say your name.
Rhiannon like Shannon. Hello. Hi,
Hi.
Rhiannon.
Hi, Rhiannon. You're
Hi.
always so bubbly and energetic on my screen during the session. So I'm glad to hear from you today.
I got to, so I am getting my real estate license and I have a 77-hour course. I had already put in 8 hours. I have 4 weeks to get my license before my partner moves out of town so that I can jump in. And I asked AI, how the heck am I going to cram in every week for the next 4 weeks? I need 77 hours to be covered. How am I breaking this up? We broke it down. I'm like, no, that's not it. No, I have my days off are on Monday, Saturday, and Friday and Thursday. No, that's not it. And then I got the golden egg from AI and have a plan for how the heck I'm going to do this in 4 weeks. So I can keep renting apartments without my business partner while he leaves town because I'm in training. And so I've just been able to, by luxury, help support with it and get paid. And now I'll be able to take over when he leaves. So it's like insane.
That's a perfect timing too. Like you needed that lesson. I have to tell you, developing your own course was a new addition. Like we've been revamping, like how do we make it more fun and like make every day like even more productive for everyone who spends their hour. And that was a new element we added this time. And I feel like that was for you. I mean, hopefully other people in this room, but I think sometimes
really valuable. I had a real big upset. I'm like, what do you mean you're leaving the city? I don't have any. Like, well, it's 4 weeks. What do you mean? So like, he fell in love and life is short and he's just packing it up and leaving. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step in. I'm stepping in. So it's all good. But it was like, it wouldn't have been possible had I not used AI. Like I could have used my brain to figure that out, but it was easier with AI to just hit it and quit it, create a study session, give me tests, etc. And I'm gonna nail this exam. And that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and it is true that sometimes there are things that you're like, yeah, if I'd put enough time, I could have solved that also. But that point you just made where like my brain could have done this, but think of how much time you would have put into that part of the process and how much energy. So I love that.
In the middle of my upset, y'all. In the middle of my upset. My brain really wasn't functioning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we are all definitely cheering for you. And like, you got this. Follow the plan. 4 weeks. We're pulling for you. So keep us updated. That's amazing. I want to take all three of the remaining ones, but I'm going to take Daniel and then I think I'm turning it over to Peter because I don't want us to like I want to make sure that we have the time we need to go ahead and teach you all about voice. But Daniel, I would love to hear your experience so far.
Yeah, it's been transformative. I come from a background of study into esoteric and spiritual avenues, and that I'm working with Dr. Matthew Ormond, and we're doing some amazing work
Dr.
around.
Matt, we love him. That's amazing.
He's amazing, absolutely amazing. And from what I've learned with you all and so forth, is ways that I can bring skills into what we're doing. And then, but bigger for me is the seeing the way to help people understand the deeper mysticism of their own being and their own life experience, and seeing it in a way that is amazing. And working with the tools and with AI, I see that as a way of helping to train people how to reach into the cosmic awareness and draw that in, using the tools that are here as a stepping stone to integrating them into the essence of who we are, and being able, ideally at some point, to have a wider field, not just what has been gathered in the larger learning model, but literally open it to all intelligence on the universe.
Wow. I love that. And that idea that we're all on a spiritual journey and, in our own places on that. And the more you can bridge, if AI can help with that, what an amazing moment to be in the world, where it could make it more powerful, or those steps, like you said, those stepping stones. So what an amazing application. Thank you for that share. I love it. And with that, it is time, I believe. Actually, I'm turning it over to Peter. But what I'm going to have Peter talk about briefly before you start voice is the mastermind. Peter.
Well, thank you very much. And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. And we haven't done our house rules since we've been here. So let's just do house rules. Hey, house rules. Number one, drink water. It's good for you unless you're drowning. AI can't do that for you yet. Number two, for the people in Zoom, if you could turn on your videos, it would be so super helpful. It helps give us energy, but it also helps us see what is landing and what isn't landing. Like, you're a barometer of like, that didn't make sense. That did make sense. Yes. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Ron. If you're completely naked, maybe not. Maybe that's just a one-on-one thing. We can do that later, but in the group, maybe not. But if you can turn your videos on, it's amazing. And also, it's so important to have the egolessness, or the empty cup, or whatever we want to call this as we come into these things. Because you could listen to the shares that we just did, and people question us on why we do shares. And we do shares because it's the embodiment of the transferable knowledge. It's listening to Kelly saying, I was struggling with this because I was getting mediocre output, and I dropped it. But with that one distinction, I start seeing how that could play out for me. That should resonate with a whole bunch of people. So if I can get a yes or a high fives or something, if you're like, that's kind of where I've been at as well. Yes, look at that. Yes. Right? And then Melanie's like, she wants to learn calligraphy. You could all go, calligraphy? I have no interest in calligraphy whatsoever. Well, awesome, but Gretchen did and Steve Jobs did. So, there's a pretty good use case and argument for a transferable skill there somewhere. But it hopefully inspires you to look at what you're doing and go, oh, okay, same with Rhiannon, of going, okay, you've got that kind of time crunch in place. Every single person that's here, 48 people in the Zoom, 51 people in the Facebook, so like 100 people, every single one of us have something that we want to achieve in our lives that we don't feel we have enough time to achieve. Every single one of us has that feeling about something, whether it's releasing weight, or whether it's business, or whether it's, I was sitting with somebody yesterday whose parents are passing away. His mum has only a few years left on this planet, and he was like, how do I deal with this? How do I process this? And was getting great advice from people. And we never in RAI want to replace people. That's not what we want to do. But if we're all being honest, we also know that we always don't tell the complete truth. to other humans. You can be completely vulnerable with AI because it doesn't care. It doesn't care in the most beautiful of ways. So you can actually say, yeah, I suck at this and I'm terrible at this and I'm horrific at this. How do I get this done? Even with those things. And it'll go, yeah, no problem. We'll just do this instead. Like one of my horrific traits is I'm late to delegate. I hold on to stuff and try and get it done myself. And then after like 6 days of trying to get it done, I'm like, why am I even trying to do this myself? I've got these amazing people on my team, and most of them are better at this thing than I'm trying to do. So I then give it to wonderful people. Jade is the main recipient of this. I give it to wonderful people like Jade and say, please fix this. And she then has 12 hours to do the thing that she could have had 6 days to do if I'd given it to her 6 days before. So I've taught my AI, and we'll come into this a bit more tomorrow. I've taught my AI that that's one of the problems I have. So when I say I need to do this, this, and this, it's taught to sense check me and say, are you sure you should be doing that? Isn't there somebody on your team that could do? I'm like, yeah, that's a great point. I would never be that vulnerable, like true deep that vulnerable with another human. So, but with my AI, I'm like, yeah, I'm terrible at this, and I have this problem, and I have this problem, and I have this problem. So it can accommodate for that and help me. So that was just as why we do these shares. Now, on the subject of the mastermind, and we are going to get to voice. Don't worry, everybody. We will be right there in a second. We formed ROAI and we formed the mastermind last February. And it was formed, honestly, by accident. It was a complete and utter accident. I did a WhatsApp video saying, hey, everybody, for people that know me, I was one of the first developers in the world of the web. I had the 30-second listing in Yahoo, and Steve Jobs selected me to do apps for Apple. And I'm hearing the same mistakes in the world of AI that I heard in the world of mobile and I heard in the world of web. People are making the wrong questions, not even the wrong answers, the wrong questions. And a wrong question is one of the most terrifying things in the world, because your brain can't help but to try and answer the question, and it will answer the question, but it's a question you should have never asked yourself. Like people saying, how do I replace myself with AI? Your brain will try and answer that question. And it is a terrible, existentially horrific question to try and answer, because if you succeed, well, then you're of no value anymore, which would be really bad. That would be horrible. We don't want that future. So let's try and create that future. So we started last February, and then there was 10 people, and then there was 20 people, and then there was 50 people, and then there was 100 people. And on that journey, we met amazing people like John and Rick and Rich and Mark and Charles and Richard and so many of you amazing folks. And it just became the biggest blessing of my life, because outside of my marriage and my children, I've never felt ever that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. That my life was completely aligned. And every time we're on these Zoom screens or on physical, or I genuinely feel that. I genuinely feel that this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I hear you and I see you and I feel you. I feel your dreams and your hopes. And I want you to succeed at all of them. I don't really understand, honestly, what Daniel Douglas does. I don't understand a word you do, man. I love you. I don't understand it. But I do know that the world is better if he does it. I do know that the world is better if he succeeds. And I know the world is better if Stephanie Pearce succeeds. And I know the world is better if Ron Kirkendorfer succeeds. I know the world is better if you guys succeed. I know the world is worse if the Fortune 50 succeed. I know the world becomes worse if we develop that uber capitalism world. And I'm not an anti-capitalist. I'm definitely not anti-capitalist, but I'm anti the extremes of anything. And this is the thing that lets Rich and Doug Kenny go, you know what? Real estate appraisals, I think we can do it differently. And I think we can get it to such a level of efficiency that when a store is choosing a new location, they can do an appraisal for 50 instead of doing it for 1. That's meaningful and valuable. So that's why we're here. We're here for you and your dreams. and we enjoy it. No, we don't enjoy it. We love it. It feeds our souls to do it. And AI changes every single day. Literally, the news feeds, half of my morning is just literally reviewing what's just happened and where it's happened to try and work out what that means to you. Because if you try and keep up with AI, it is a full-time job. I tell you that because it's my job and it's a full-time job. Just keeping up with it is a full-time job. The second full-time job is then making sense of it so that we can help you understand it. So we love the challenge. And again, thank you so much for being here. Like, really, thank you for being here. But we can't deliver what you need in the challenge. What we can give you the first thing. We can give you the inspiration point, the Excalibur, the I can't believe it just did that moment. We can give you the curiosity, and we can give you hopefully a safe space to go through that journey of curiosity. But what we can't do is give you, okay, you need to double your lead flow. You need X amount of people to do this. You need Y amount of people to listen to this. That requires a consistent touch. And that's why we do the mastermind. We do it every Thursday at noon Eastern. There is no link for you to buy today. So if you think this is a pitch, it's the worst pitch ever. But we literally every Thursday at noon Eastern, come rain, shine, or hurricanes, go in and say, this is what we've just seen. This is what you need to pay attention to. This is something you can do. And we've done that since last February. We haven't missed one. We will never miss one. There are 2 occasions I will miss one. One is if the Jets get to the Super Bowl. So don't worry, because that's never going to happen. So you're okay there.
And it's on a Sunday.
And it's on a Sunday. So and the second one is if Tottenham ever get to the Champions League final, which is also probably never going to happen. And if it does, that's on a Saturday. So either way, you're okay. But Christmas, birthdays, we'll be here doing this and helping you out. So we'll talk more about this a little bit tomorrow and Friday. I want you to start considering whether that's a journey and a path you want to take with us. If it is not, that is amazing. If you want to rock up when we do the next challenge, that's amazing. If you want to rock up to the next 20 challenges we do and never give us $1, that is amazing. If that's what's right for you. But I, hand on heart, solemnly, with every sinew of my body, know that this is a thing that you can't ignore. There is no path in the world of technology that you get to ignore. You have 2 choices. You are Netflix or Blockbuster. They are your 2 paths. If you say, I don't agree with you or I don't believe you, I apologize for your future that you're about to experience. And I really do. I wish it wasn't the way. People have asked me, do you like AI? I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if I preferred the planet before it. I also don't like paying tax. That doesn't mean I don't pay it. It means I go, God damn, I need to pay tax. So I find ways to optimize paying tax so I pay as little as possible. You have to work with what's presented to you in this world. And AI is here. It is here to stay. It is going absolutely nowhere. And it is going to exponentially impact humanity. Exponentially. So your narratives, if they deserve to be out in the world for your impact and your revenue, you have to be here, not our AI. You have to be in the space of AI. And however you do that, that's your choice. That's where you get to choose. No, these guys aren't for me. These guys are for me. That's perfectly cool. We are fine, happy, and growing either way. Like, we're good. But we do feel that this is why. And I want to give you the second reason, and Doria mentioned it, and Doria, I love you, by the way. Thank you for being here, of procession and impact. And I'm going to do this without crying. Probably. Gretchen,
Yes.
do you remember that I told you about myself and a guy called Trey Roth being at a Tony Robbins event? I told you this story about this lady that came on virtually in a hybrid. And she was going through some real troubles and traumas in her life that I'm not going to go into. And he spoke to her and he ended up crying, and they had this connection through decades worth before of stuff. And he said, you know what, we're going to fly you to the studio And we're going to bring you over to the studio. The car's on its way. The plane's going to get you here. You will be in studio for tomorrow because I want to make sure you succeed. And myself and Trey were then sitting in the hotel lobby, and we were so blessed that this woman walked in at that time, and we got to spend a couple of hours hearing her story. I'm sure I've told you about this before. I would like to introduce you to Melanie Clark. That's where me and Melanie met. And
Oh,
I don't know how you ended up back in our world, Melanie, but for however it was, that's the way world works. And that's the way it works for all of you. We don't know who we get to touch. We don't know who we get to have an impact with. We don't know the ripples that that causes in the universe. We don't know it. But we do know if we don't put the ripples out there, it doesn't happen. So, Melanie, I love you and adore you. And the fact that you're back with us is so, so amazing. Thank you so much. You're also the reason that I'm not involved in the prize selection, because if not, I'd have just given it to you all 5 days. Because that would have been a cool thing to do. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, your impact is unmeasurable and undefinable, but it comes from the ripples you put out in the world, and it comes from how you show up every single day. And there's a great phrase that a coach uses, and I love it. Please don't let me and Gretchen and our team care more about your dreams than you do. All we can do is give you the tools for you to go and do it, but it's up to you to go and do it. With that, let's do some reactions in either of the things so we can get to voice mode and I can shake out this energy. And I'm sorry that I got really indulgent there. Reactions in Zoom, like little things floating up the screen. Yes, Kelly. Yes, Carol. Okay, let's do voice mode. So, we have taught you all about the wonderful world of ChatGPT. We have shown you what you can do at your desktop. But one of the things that was so awesome about the mobile revolution was that we all got to untether from our desktop. That was really cool. Now, there is some negatives around that, about how that then bleeds into our workspace and our life space and all that wonderful stuff. Every technology, by the way, when you invent it, you solve a problem and you create another problem, just in case you're curious. Every technology that's gets invented solves a problem and creates another. So mobile gave us some freedom. ChatGPT stole it right back away from us, because we're now sitting on our desktop every single day to get this amazing, wonderful output, which is cool and brilliant, but it's not really that healthy. You know, sitting is not a good thing. I know some of you probably have standing desks. I admire I think they're crazy. But anyway, good on you for doing that. But it isn't really what we want to do. The other problem is no matter how fast you type, it creates a barrier to thought. Right? Typing and text is a barrier to thinking. Voice is the quickest modality, actually body languages, but second only to body language. Voice is the quickest modality we have to communicate. One of the things I hate about this new world that we're in is, and my team know this, is the necessity, and I recognize it's a necessity, for voice notes in things like Slack and WhatsApp. I hate them. So, because you've lost all of the nuance of the conversation. You didn't have the ability to go, hang on a second, can I just clarify, when you said that, did you mean that? And they go, no, I didn't mean that at all. I meant this. I'm like, oh, okay. The closer we can get to conversations, the closer we get to a truth. So, love the fact I've got fireworks. Yes. Let's do a bit of this. So, ChatGPT is multimodal, not to be confused with multi-model. Multi-model is when we use different AI models like Claude and ChatGPT for different things, which we do and we recommend, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about multimodal, M-O-D-A-L, modal, which means, fancy term, that it can respond to different modes of input. That's what it means. It means that it can respond to text, which is what we've been doing for the last couple of days, but it also means it can respond to audio, and it also means it can respond to visuals. Voice mode is my #1 use case. To do it, you're going to need the official ChatGPT app. We're not going to go too much into the tech of this, but it looks like this one. It's the white one with like the Gordian knot. Looks like that one. There are hundreds on the App Store that you don't want to download. That's not going to help you. You want the official one. And when you click it, pop, hit that, you're going to get that window there. And all you're going to do is hit this headphone icon here. This little headphone icon. And when you do, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. Like this. So it's as simple as that. You're going to hit it, it's going to spin, and it's going to say, I'm listening. And then you're going to talk, and it's going to talk back. This is one of the most transferable skills that exists, which also means it's one of the hardest skills to teach. Because I'm going to do it, and it's done, and then I'm going to go, get it? And you're going to go, sure. So I'm going to try and give you a couple of different examples of this over the next 10 minutes of saying, this is kind of how I use it. Okay, so I will sit and say something like this. Hey, Jet, how the fuck are you today? Oh, by the way, there's going to be some cursing in this next section.
Hey, Pete, I'm doing great. Thanks. How are things going on your end? Anything exciting happening today?
Things are going pretty well. I'm at Board of Advisors, the networking event. I'm currently running the challenge that I'm part of. Listen, I've got dinner with somebody tomorrow, Alejandro, and I've got, how do I put this to you? Apparently an email has been sent out saying our event that we're running tomorrow is at 6 Pacific, when actually it should be at 6 Eastern. What would you recommend I do around this? Because 6 Eastern and 6 Pacific is pretty different. Should I be talking to Alejandro? Should I go back to the company? What would be my next steps to get this fixed? Because I've got like 100 people showing up, and I don't know which time they're showing up for. Do I run both? Do I run one? Help. Like, this is a problem, and I need a solution.
That sounds like a pretty stressful situation. First, I'd suggest you clarify the correct time with Alejandro, since he's involved and might have some insights. Next, send out a correction email as soon as possible, explaining the mix-up and confirming the correct time. If you're unsure which time people will follow, you might need to be flexible and consider running 2 sessions to accommodate everyone. Also, check with the company that sent the email to ensure the mistake is acknowledged and corrected on their end too. Clear communication is...
Wait. I don't want to run 2 fucking sessions. Give me another 3 ideas how I can fix this. Do that again. Wait. I don't want to run 2 sessions. That sounds ridiculous. Give me another 3 different ideas.
Got it. Running 2 sessions can be too much. Here are 3 different ideas. 1, send an immediate correction. Send an urgent email and possibly a text message to all attendees explaining the correct time and the mistake. Be very clear and apologize for any confusion. 2, leverage social media. Post updates on your social media channels, particularly any private groups or pages where attendees...
Okay. Hey, hang on a second, Jack. You've got a good idea there. So the company that sent out the email, our partner, they might actually have the text records for them. That's the right way to do it. So I need to send an email to Mary asking her if she has the email addresses and the text for the people if I give her the list. Can you write that email for me? The event is called AI That Works. And just put XXX for the company name so that I can then correct it.
Sure thing. Here's a draft for your email to Mary. Hi, Mary. I hope you're well. We've encountered an issue with the event timing for AI That Works. The email sent out incorrectly stated the event is at 6 p.m. Pacific, but it should be 6 p.m. Eastern. Could you please provide me with the email addresses and text records of the attendees? I'll send a correction email to clarify.
Wait. That isn't what I meant. I'm not going to send it out. I want, because she's not going to give me the text number. Why would she do that? That'd be data privacy galore. But she could send out a text to them if I tell them the list. And then I don't even need to do the work, which sounds like a much better idea. So can you rewrite that email and asking her if she can send out a text if I provide her the registration list? Actually, you know what? Let's think about this again. This is me being done. Can you write me a Slack message to Jade, telling Jade that she needs to get in touch with Mary And can you tell Jade that my suggestion is that Mary sends out a text on our behalf? That would be much better, because then I don't even need to speak to Mary. Because if I send the thing to Mary, Mary's going to come back to me, and then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to end up giving it to Jade at about 3 a.m. her time, and where she has to then sort out this shit. If I just hand it to her first, that would be more viable. And ask Jade to get a triage session set up with Ali for next week, so we can work out how the fuck this happened. And we can then correct the process in order to make sure that we don't get this wrong again. So a Slack message to Jade with those two things. One, that she needs to reach out to Mary and get Mary to send out a text if she can. That's my suggestion. She can do whatever she wants, but that's my suggestion. Jade, by the way, that's what I want you to do. And second, is that we need to set up a triage session for next week to work out how we made this mistake, because we can't make this type of mistake. It's going to put too much pressure on the system if we have to do this. Send that for me. Write it for me and I'll check it.
Absolutely. Here's the Slack message for Jade. Hey, Jade, I need you to handle something for me. There was a mistake in the email sent out for AI That Works event. The time was...
I do this about 4 hours a day. And I really want you to track back what just happened, because it's to me, it's the reason this is the #1 skill inside AI that so many people miss. I started with, this has happened. What do I do? I think this is a problem with regards to, do I run 1 sessions or 2 sessions? It then said, send an email or a text. That was when I, the wonderful human, went, that's a good point. I never even thought about sending out a text, because the problem was in an email. My dumbass human brain had got locked in to the solution is also the same as the problem. We send out another email or we do another thing. I hadn't even considered the texting. So then we started with, please, hang on a second, I don't even need to send out the text. I need Mary to send out the text. I'm like, hang on a second, why am I speaking to Mary? This is crazy. I have a whole bunch of very, very capable people that need to pick this up, and they're going to be the people that has to pick it up anyway. And I've got other stuff that I need to do that they can't do, because I'm at an event networking and meeting people, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. So we walked through this, and every single time that I'm brainstorming with AI, every single time, the solution to the problem is not what I thought it was going to be when I started. And could that entire thing have been done on a call with Gretchen? 110%. Absolutely. I'm not replacing, and in fact, probably even better. But would it have taken 20 minutes of Gretchen's time and 20 minutes of my time? Yes, it would. This took 4 minutes of my time. Because the other thing that happens when another human being gets involved is they have their own frame, they have their own concerns, and they take conversations down a rabbit hole, not actually a rabbit hole, but it's a rabbit hole to you because it's not the thing you were trying to do. And you're like, whoa. And you know what? Everybody does this when you're speaking to another human. Okay, let's put a pin in that. Let's come back to that, because you're trying to keep it on the track that you need to get down. That's what AI does so amazingly well. And that's one way we can use voice. I want to show you two super cool tricks. But Gretchen, you have another way you use voice, which I think is just as impactful in different ways. Can you talk through that quickly?
Yes, and we already saw somebody kind of ask the question, like, how do I get it to not interrupt me? Peter does it by talking without taking a breath endlessly. Even if he has to sing or hum, he keeps making noise. Because the problem with conversation mode is that it will sometimes, it tends to, like, you're talking, and if you're a person who's like, just takes a couple seconds to think in the middle of it, it'll just start answering and you're only halfway in. And so Peter is the biggest advocate of going into conversation mode. And I've learned everything I know about AI from Peter. So I was like, okay, that's what he told us to do this week. And I downloaded the app. The correct app, by the way, is always the one by OpenAI. That's the easiest way to make sure you're downloading the correct app. Make sure the developer is OpenAI. But I'm like, okay, I've got my app. I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to have a conversation. And it interrupted me all the time. It made me crazy because then I lose my train of thought. I can't remember what I'm doing. So I personally really prefer, instead of conversation mode, I do voice to text mode. And so instead of the headphone, that's the microphone, but it's the one that's inside the prompt bar. They're like right next to each other. So one will drop you into conversation mode and one is voice to text. When you're in voice to text, you could just talk, like you just hit go and it just starts recording, and then don't go longer than 5 minutes because it gets transcription errors longer than that. And that's frustrating to lose what you just did for 5 minutes. But you could chat and you can do it over and over. So you can say, I could just chat through for 5 minutes, like everything I need to do that day, or everything I'm developing for a course, or everything I can think of. If I want to go longer, I just say, hang on a minute, I'm going to give you more. And then I hit like pause, I end my recording, and then it transcribes the whole thing and I upload it. And it never interrupts me. There is another way. If you like conversation mode, you can, I think, I don't use it that much, but I think you can hold your thumb on the cloud circle thing, the circle, and it will keep it from interrupting you. There isn't a way to like set a time or something like that. But right now you can like hold it to keep it from interrupting you. But I just do voice to text. And my recommendation is that I think almost everyone will have sort of a personality or a communication style that suits one or the other better, and that you should really just play with it. So if you're doing conversation mode and are like frustrated endlessly that it keeps cutting you off, then do voice to text. But if you really love the back and forth engagement, then conversation is going to be better for you. And everyone's different. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of the voice to text option.
Yeah, I think that they're slightly different use cases, and all of this will change in the next few months because the AI, the advanced voice mode from AI is coming out, which then does have a contextual understanding of when you're talking and where you're not, and it allows you to interrupt it, which this current version doesn't. But it is so super wild. Like Gretchen's use cases of dumping task lists out and then getting them in structured ways is absolutely amazing. I have to admit, I didn't use it for like months, and then I did. I'm like, God damn, this is cool. That really annoyed me. That I didn't do it for months. I'm like, wow, this would have saved me ages. Should have listened more. But yes, using it this way. Now, the second trick I wanted to show you was when you're using the official version, as we just showed you, the version that you're talking into and the version at your keyboard is the same thing. This is crazy powerful. Because I said, write me that Slack message, and then here it is. This is the Slack message. So what it means is I can go for a walk, and I can say, what are the top 8 things I need to do today? Let's go through all my projects. Let's have a conversation. Let's work out the key actions in order to progress all of them. And then I'm like, wow, yeah. And I need to speak to Gretchen about that, or I need to speak to Ali about this, or I need to speak to Liz about this, or Liz just spoke to me about this, or whatever it might be. And then I can come back to my desk and literally copy and paste and send the email or send the Slack message. I spend about half of the emails I now send come from this. They come from me in a cab or a thing. I have a running conversation at this event that I'm at, Board of Advisors. So I can literally just go, hey, I just met with this guy called Ty Crandall. He's got some really interesting thing in offer stacks. I'm going to want to review that when I get back. And Jet says, got it, Pete. Thanks very much. Okay, great. Then when I get back to my desktop, I'm like, can you summarize these for me and put them into logical groups so that I can then reach out to them based on the impact that it's going to have into my business? So I can just literally dump and dump and dump and dump, but then come back to the desktop mode when you do need more focus work. I do want to make sure the email is properly formatted, et cetera, et cetera. That's just who I am. You could still do that on your phone. It's still going to be sitting in the chat stream on your phone as well. You could copy and paste it from there as well, but you're going to work that way. Okay, I've got 5 minutes left, and I want to show you the one last thing. So this is in the multimodal world. This is what we just did is voice, audio in, audio out. So days 1 and 2, we covered text in and text out, and we did a cool little pit stop in the world of creating a song, but we were on text in and text out. On day 2, we continued that text in, text out using tables and better formatting and richer ways and slicing. Now we just spoke about voice. Now what I want to add on, and these are the 3 bits that we need to unlock day 4 and day 5 for you. because day 4 and day 5 is where we start customizing and personalizing, adding memories, how to really do the memory. We're going to do a quick thing on auditing memory because Melanie is so far ahead. I want to make sure we get that in there for her as well, because memory is a real double-edged sword. Day 5, custom GPTs, is where we start blowing up all of your worlds in really, really cool ways. But this is the last kind of fundamental skill that I want you to have inside this, and that is visual. So I have next to me, if I can show you this, I have, here's one I prepared earlier. I have a bunch of food. Okay, I have honey roasted cashews, an RX bar, a muffin, and by the way, that muffin is amazing, and some lightly salted peanuts. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a picture of them, like so. I'm going to put it in there and upload it. So I just literally took a picture with my camera phone. All of you on an iPhone or an Android have this. And then I'm going to go to voice mode. Hey, Jet. So I just uploaded a picture of some food. I'm about to go to a conference for the day. I know that their food options really aren't everything I'd like it to be. So I need some snacks with me, but I really don't want to spike my blood sugar because I'm traveling. I'm getting not enough sleep at the moment. I'm like 6-7 hours a night. Which of those 4 things do you think I should take with me in order to have a snack that will not spike my blood sugar? Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, Pete, for a snack that won't spike your blood sugar, I recommend taking the RX bar. It's a good option because it contains protein and healthy fats from the egg whites and nuts, which help slow down the absorption of sugar from the dates. The peanuts and cashews could also be good choices since they are low in carbs and high in healthy fats and protein, which are beneficial for maintaining stable blood sugar levels. The muffin might cause a spike in your blood sugar, so it's best to avoid that.
Okay, so yeah, I know you're right, but I really want to take the muffin. Can you do me a favor and tell me why Sam and Olivia would rather I didn't?
Sure. Sam and Olivia would probably want you to skip the muffin because it likely contains a lot of refined sugars and carbs, which can lead to a quick spike in your blood sugar. This spike can make you feel energized temporarily, but it can also lead to a crash later, making you feel tired and less focused during the conference. Plus, since you're already not getting enough sleep.
Hey, Jet, do you really think my kids give an F how focused I am in a conference? Can you lean in? It's in my service here. I'm asking you to cause me a little bit of pain in order for me to get a better result. Why do Sam and Olivia not want me to take the muffin? I'm not even going to read that out because it's going to, then I will cry. Right. Multimodal is so powerful. I've seen this used. I've used it. I've seen it like this is why. What houseplant is this, and why is it dying? And it will tell you, oh, it's this type of plant, and because it's got this thing going wrong, it means you're overwatering it, or you're underwatering it, or just that you and Liz apparently can't keep a plant alive, which is what it should say, but it's slightly more scientific. I've seen people take pictures of buildings and say, what do you think the rough appraisal value of this is going to be? I've seen people take pictures of kitchens and say, when was this refurbed? I've used it to take pictures of microwaves. I used it the other day to work out a menu because I don't know what broiling is. Apparently that's a thing in America. I'm like, broil? What the hell does that mean? Gretchen, you talked about it before, and you're like, you've used it for cables. Of which cable to use for a thing. It's so insanely powerful to be able to just take a picture of a thing and say, bike parts, how do I fix this flat tire? What's wrong with this? What clothes could I wear? What colors should I wear that go with this? I love this piece of art. What should it be? Another one. I'm sure we all get quite regular book recommendations. This is another way to do it. Take a book. Take a picture of the book. and then go this way. So it's just literally uploading like a normal picture, normal way. And then being able to go, hey Jet, so I've just been recommended this book. I just took a picture of it for you. What the hell is it? What's it about? Give me a précis. Do you think I'm going to enjoy this? Give me like the top 3 reasons I should read it. And also any other reading you recommend, anything better in the same area that you think I would get on with better, let me know. So when it's taking longer, by the way, like this, it's because it's going and looking up on the web. It's done the image recognition.
Communicators by Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, is a book about the importance and techniques of effective communication in various aspects of life, particularly in professional settings. The book delves into how great communicators convey ideas, inspire action, and influence others. It emphasizes practical strategies to improve your communication skills and become more persuasive and impactful.
You see the point, right? We can use it for this. We can take pictures of a fridge and say, give me 5 recipes that I can cook based on what's in my fridge. This is such a powerful way to engage with AI. Gretchen, we have 0 minutes left. What is their fun work? What is the fine folks' fun work? Fine work.
Their fun work today is, of course, most importantly, primary fun work is everyone needs to have the ChatGPT app put on their phone. Make sure you pick the one from OpenAI. It's free. So don't pay anything. You have the wrong one if there's anything paid. So it's free. Sign into it using the same credentials you use for ChatGPT, and then everything you do on your phone and everything you do on your computer will be visible in the other place. So number 1 is make sure you have the app and that it's on your phone. Step 2 is the reason we all put it on our phones is because of voice mode. So we want you to take the time and give voice mode and voice to text, both the 2 buttons at the bottom, like a microphone and a headphone, or a waveform and a headphone, kind of depending on if you're Android or app or iPhone. But take to those for a spin to see which one, get a feel. And what I recommend is to go through and have a conversation about something that, a problem you've been having. So this can be a personal problem. It can also be like, what is the thing in your business that sucks away your time or is extremely frustrating? And go, not the first answer. Go back and forth. Say like, oh, no, that doesn't work. Or that would be too hard. Or I've tried that. And go deeper and deeper and deeper. So give yourself some time in the Facebook group. I would love to hear, if it's a personal problem, you don't necessarily have to share, it's okay for you to do something you actually want to keep personal, but go ahead and share about your experience, whether it was like your experience of going deeper and having what feels like a meaningful conversation with AI, and also how much information you can give it when you're in voice mode compared to typing. It is something you want to touch. We want you to do it, because once you've tried it, you'll see how effective it is for you to get more information. And that's how you personalize your AI experience. So that is today's fun work. And Peter, final words.
Thank you again for you all being here. We love doing this. Watching and listening to the breakthroughs and the distinctions that people get from it are so super powerful for everybody. The other really fun thing I love doing with both of these is taking pictures of sketches, because a lot of us are still very visual thinkers and we want to sketch stuff or we want to write notes. This thing can recognize your handwriting. I have yet to meet somebody where they go, oh, it doesn't work with my handwriting. It does. It's bizarrely accurate. So if you're the type of person who wants to draw a diagram of okay, how am I going to approach this? Or you want to write things out, or you want to journal and do a self-reflection exercise, you can journal, take a picture of it with your phone, and do it that way. It's so powerful, but it's such in that base level primary transferable skill. It's also something that a lot of you might miss the power of. And it is such an unlock, which is what I want to say. And we are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. As we said, tomorrow, we are speaking more into the personalization of AI. I think this is one of the 4 or 5 of the huge up levels. The next, even I hope you're loving where we're at. Tomorrow we take this to another level of how do we get this to complement and supplement you? How do we get this to make it so that Lauren has a version that works for Lauren and Stephanie has a version that works for Stephanie versus using the generic thing that Sam Altman says kind of works 85% for everybody. In fact, he said it's the most embarrassing version you'll ever have to use. We want to get that so that this is super, super personal and really, really useful for you. Would it recognize calligraphy? Let's find out. Take a picture and tell us tomorrow, Melanie. And last minute, before we let everybody go, Jade, what are we doing? What are you doing? Like when do you start? When are you up? What's everybody here doing? I want to make sure all of our VIPs get all of the value that we want to bring to you. And really that session with Jade is where you get to listen to everything me and Gretchen have just said and go, whoa, hang on a second, I don't get this. So Jade, what are you going to be on today?
So today we will be diving deeper into voice mode, and I'll be working with anyone and everyone directly on talking through their businesses, different ways that we can use voice mode to talk into any solutions or problems that you want to work through in voice mode, even just talking through your business in general and figuring out how AI best fits into it, how we can best use AI to be utilized in all these cool, fun, pain points, amazing brainstorming ideas that are all around. The possibilities are truly endless, and the session with me is truly an opportunity for me to deep dive almost into your business of how AI can be applied. And I'm truly here to assist you in all of your AI learning and walk it through, no matter from ground zero or level 100. I'm here to answer and be with you throughout the whole process.
Amazing. So everyone enjoy the after party and business accelerator with Jade. And we will see all of you tomorrow. Customizing your AI. Thank you everyone for being here today.
Thanks everybody. Thank you for today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.